Capitol Hill, Congressman Krishnamorthi. He is a Democrat from Illinois who sits on the Oversight and Intelligence Committees, and he is set to co-chair an Oversight Committee hearing on the coronavirus tomorrow. Congressman, always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you very much for taking the time. I want to start with the new guidance released by the White House last night, largely around how people, businesses, even schools can try to prepare and prevent infections of the coronavirus. Should that guidance have been more explicit about things like working from home and closing public spaces or even limiting travel?
I think so. And I think that in general, I wish that the administration's response was a little more aggressive from the beginning, because the name of the game here, Eamon, at this point is that we've got to get ahead of the spread of this virus. We have to test as many people as possible, identify who has it, get them well, but at the same time isolate them so others don't contract the virus. This is very important.
Congressman, are you at all surprised and even, shocked that the Health and Human Services Secretary, Alex Azar, still can't say how many people in the U.S. have been tested so far?
Yes, this is very troublesome, because if we don't know how many people have been tested, we can't possibly know whether we have attained the goal of the number of people who should be tested. Another thing that's very troublesome, we launched an investigation last week through the Oversight Committee. One of the prongs of this three-prong investigation was that the administration has been very unwilling to share information about the testing that has been done. So, for instance, the number of tests that have been completed were previously on the CDC website, but they were taken down. And that lack of transparency, in my opinion, hurts our ability to respond to this virus.
You are co-chairing the Oversight Committee hearing tomorrow with top U.S. virus control officials, Dr. Anthony Fauci, the CDC director, Robert Redfield. What are you trying to get them to answer? What are the big questions that you're looking for answers to?
Sure. There are a few topics. With regard to testing, we started out of the gate very slowly, but on top of that, we manufactured a flawed testing kit that was contaminated by the COVID virus itself. Why did that happen, and are the people who were in charge of that flawed effort still leading the effort now? With regard to today, how many tests have been conducted? How many test kits have been shipped? And the most important thing is, at what rate are we testing people every day? Because right now, we're not sure that we even have the capacity to test at the rate that, for instance, South Korea is doing, which is 10,000 per day. And then finally, how do people pay for the test and treatment for COVID virus? Just recently, someone in Florida went to get tested for COVID-19, and they thankfully were found to not have the virus, but rather the flu, but they were handed a bill for $3,270. That type of cost is going to deter a lot of people from being tested, and it's not only going to get them sicker, but it's going to expose all of the rest of us to that virus.
Congressman, I noticed that you are calling the virus by its proper technical name, COVID-19. I want to ask you about the back and forth between Democratic Congresswoman Grace Meng and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy. And she is demanding an apology for him referring to the virus in very derogatory, offensive terms, calling it the Chinese coronavirus. What is your reaction to that? Some have even called it the Wuhan virus, and obviously a very insensitive terminology there. But what do you make of Kevin McCarthy using that terminology?
I'm disturbed by it. Obviously, the virus had its origins in China, and the Chinese government handled this episode miserably. That being said, now it's spread to more than 100,000 people across 100 countries, and of course, hundreds here in the United States. It's an American problem now, and we have to have an aggressive American response to get ahead of the spread of this virus ASAP.
Congressman Krishnamorthi, thank you very much, sir. Look forward to talking to you again.
Thank you, Eamon.
Just how